and welcome to Good Grief, the podcast dedicated to demystifying and destigmatizing grief with compassion and humor. I'm Nikki. I'm an end-of-life doula and a grief coach in Columbus, Ohio. And today I'm very excited to bring another beautiful guest episode to you today. I had a wonderful conversation with the lovely Miss Cortland Mullins, who started Grief Club here in Columbus, Ohio. She went through her own journey with grief, which spurred her to want to help others through their journeys as well. Kind of a familiar story to me and so many other people I work with who have turned their grief into something beautiful and wonderful to help others. But I won't say any more. I will let her tell her own story. That is what you were here for. But before I do, just a reminder, I would love for you to check me out over at patreon.com/Nikki the Death Doula. You can get access to this podcast a week early. You get grief affirmations in your inbox and other bonus content throughout the week. You can also find me over on Substack, and I'm at nikkithedeathdoula.com, but that's not why you're here. You don't care about all that. You're here to see this amazing conversation I had with Miss Cortland Mullins of the Grief Club. So without further ado, we're just going to get right into it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in again this week. I am so excited to have a guest on my show that I personally reached out to because I saw what she is doing, and I am super excited to share Cortland Mullins with you. Cortland, would you introduce yourself briefly and tell us a little bit about the Grief Club?
Absolutely. Thank you, Nikki, for having me. So I am Cortland, like Nikki said. Really cool. I think it's 11:11 while we started this interview,
You're
so I
right. I
thought
just wrote
that's a
that down
great
too.
sign.
Go on.
Um, I am Cortland, so I'm the founder of the Grief Club. I'm also a certified yoga instructor with experience in somatic and grief trauma related facilitation and certification. So, just a little bit about me. I'm a mom. I have two daughters who are awesome. I love wellness, I love sports, and I'm a space maker. I love to create spaces for people to come together in community because I think relationships are the biggest things that matter, not the material. So I love to create spaces for people, and I'm just myself, honestly. The more you are around me, the more you get to love and grow to love me. Um, so just a little bit about the Grief Club. I started this because my mom transitioned December 27, 2023, and really just needing a safe space to land. I had the thought that if I felt like this, I knew a lot of other people were dealing with the same thing that I was. And so I just wanted to create space for us to come together to normalize grief because it's so taboo. And truly it's everybody goes through it. Everybody loses something or someone. And so I don't understand why it's the most taboo topic. So I wanted to really attack it and look it in the face. And so we
Yeah.
created the Grief Club.
Oh, I love that. You sound like me. Uh, because
I
that
love
was
it.
why I started this whole podcast, because we just don't talk about grief, right? And don't get me started
Oh,
on death and dying, because nobody wants to talk about that either, right?
yeah.
Which kind of all interplays. Although, and thank you for mentioning, not all grief is death related. There's everybody loses something at some point in their life or someone. So thank you so much for sharing that with me.
Of
So
course.
yeah, tell me a little bit about your mother and your relationship with her and her passing.
So just a second. My mother, that is a
Heavy
story.
subject.
So yeah, it is a little bit. I'm an only child. I'm 30, I'll be 31 in August. And so me and my mom have really had a really estranged relationship my whole life. And like hindsight is always 2020, right? So I realized with my mom's passing that she was dealing with grief and she just didn't know how to outlet and she didn't know how to have a safe space for herself. And so, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Um, she didn't know how to have a safe space within herself. So for me, um, I think a lot of our relationship was impacted because she chose alcohol instead of like healing. And so we were close, but we weren't as close as I wanted us to be. I really hoped for a mother-daughter, like best friend relationship later in life, but I I hit 29 and then she transitioned. So for me, it sucks a little bit, just because I feel like alcohol took a lot of her from me.
Sure.
But I honor her. I love her. She planted a lot of good seeds in me. So I take the goods with the bads. I think that, light and darkness has to coexist together.
Mhm.
One can't coexist without the other. So I think that my mom's relationship, it was meant for me. And like hindsight now is just like, I'm grateful that she was my mom. So yeah.
Oh, thank you so
Sorry.
much for sharing that. I know that was
Mhm.
very emotional for you. So thank you for sharing
Yeah,
that. And not just with me, but you're sharing her story with others too.
absolutely.
Through your work with Grief Club. So thank you. And I appreciate you bringing up her her alcoholism, her alcohol use, and how, obviously that was difficult. That's putting it mildly. God, Nikki, it was it was, kind of awful at times, I'm sure, to
Yeah.
have that, and you didn't quite get that relationship you craved with her.
Hmm.
Um, but that you still loved and respected her. And that's
Hmm.
one of those tricky things with addictions. I've had people in my life, I've lost people to alcohol and to drug overdose in my life. And it's hard. We have, as humans, have a hard time of separating that from the person because their
Hmm.
alcohol, their drug use isn't them. It's their coping mechanism for something.
It's not them at all. And you'll get the glimpse of them. Sorry to cut you off, but you'll get
No,
the
no.
glimpse of them in those sober moments. But then
Mhm.
when they run back to that addiction, then you don't, it's like taken away from you again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
very good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like grieving over and over again because of the people in my life I know who have had problems with addiction. Like you said, it's kind of like my ex-husband was very much an alcoholic. And there was always that cycle of like, going too far and then overcorrecting and I'm gonna be sober now and I'm so sorry. And and you're happy and things are going great. And then and it's grieving when they fall back off the wagon. And it's just kind of an endless loop. So you're grieving constantly
Yeah.
losing what you think you might have. Does that
Yeah.
sound fair?
Yep, that's exactly it. That's a perfect description. It's like, and as a kid, I didn't realize like the big feelings that I was feeling was grief. Like I was
Mhm.
feeling the absence of like having my mom present, but then like, okay, well, this is making her change. And so I'm grieving like my life. Like one minute I know it to be this way, and then the next minute, because of addictive behavior, I'm knowing it to shift. And so
Yeah.
it always kept me in a like a fight or flight
Yep.
response. I've always, and like now at 30 and 31, I finally feel safe. I never, and it's odd that my mom's transition did that, but I finally feel safe.
Yeah.
And I had to create that for myself. So
Yeah. Absolutely. And thank you for bringing that up too. I just recently um, attended a couple lectures on trauma responses because I want to educate myself more on that as well. And when it comes to children of addiction, that fight or flight is huge, and that's just stuck in you, right?
yeah, yeah,
And that can trigger all sorts of emotions, usually
yeah,
grief. So,
yeah,
oh my
absolutely.
gosh. So fast forward to after your mom has passed,
Mhm.
but before you started the grief club, what was that first part of the journey like for you with your grief?
Mm, that is such a good question. This is such a good interview. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to watch it back. Because you're asking me the things that really need to be highlighted, right? And so,
Well, and the reason why I ask this of you or of anybody is just when we see somebody, especially you right now or me right
mhm,
now, my brother died 10 years ago, like, and
mhm,
you see the quote unquote other side, right?
yeah,
You're not better, you're not back to normal because there is no back to normal, there is no getting over it, but you're in a different place.
yeah,
And the people that are just now experiencing that loss are not there yet.
yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of why I
So
like
good,
to ask these questions. So I'll shut up
good.
and let you answer now.
No, you're good. I'm enjoying this conversation a lot. I think honestly for me, so I was next to my mom when she took her last breath. So, um, And I tell people this story is because I got to see her sober for those last 7 days of her life. And it's, yeah, I have more, but basically, but before my mom went to the hospital, I told her because her legs were so inflamed. They were just like, I mean, her skin, it looked like her skin was about to rip open because of how inflamed her legs were. And
Yeah.
I told her, like, hey, I'm gonna give you to the end of this week to go to the doctor, or I'm gonna call the squad and I will sit here with you and we will go together. But I'm
Mhm.
not letting you just sit here and this, like, this is scaring me.
Right.
So she ended up going, and my mom is like, sometimes, especially in Black cultures, we have these women who have these strong mentalities where they think that, oh, I'm strong, nothing is going to hurt me, or I won't be affected by this. And so I knew when I got the text from my mom that she went to the hospital, I instantly cried. It was like my spirit knew because she would never ever go to an emergency room, which is crazy to say, but she would never do it. And so
Yeah.
once she texted me and said I went to the ER, I started to grieve. I started to grieve early. I texted her the next morning and I was like, hey, did they keep you? And she never responded. So I'm like, they kept her. And so I went up to the hospital, and that first day in the hospital, she was not there, but the light was shining so bright in the room. And I remember it. I just cried and cried. I cried. I cried. I cried. And I knew then I was losing her. So we had those 7 days together. It went really quick because she went to ICU like the second day.
Yeah.
And then like it was like timely. I got there when the doctors got there for the alcoholism. And so my mom would cover it because she was ashamed. And so she would be like, no, I don't drink that often. But they obviously could tell because of her body.
Hmm.
And so I told them, like, she drinks every day, like she chronically, like, and they were like, okay. So after that, she went to ICU quick, um, cried again. I mean, that whole week, I remember it so clear that I just was I grieved my mom. Um, and I was next to her the last day. Well, I have to add this part. So, the day before she transitioned, I will always tell my mom, "See you later. I'll see you later. I'll be back tomorrow morning. I'll see you in the evening. I gotta go to work. I'll see you later." I would never say bye. The last day that I seen her, I said bye, and I didn't. And I stopped in my foot tracks as I'm walking out, and I was like, "Bye, mom. I love you," and I stopped. And I started to cry because I was like, no, I
Oh.
knew. And I knew because I would say, see you later every day. And that one day, because we had a conversation and I asked her, how are you doing? And she's like, I'm tired. And I was like, I know, I can tell. And I was like, I just want you to know that I'm okay if you're tired. Like, I want you to be okay, and I will be okay from you being okay. And so we had that conversation, and I walked out and I said bye to her. That night, probably like an hour or 2 hours later, the nurse called me. I got 3 missed calls from the hospital, and I'm like, they don't call you unless something is wrong. So I'm trying to eat because I wasn't eating, and they were like, she went into cardiac arrest. And I'm like, okay. But at least my last words were bye, I love you, right?
Yeah.
And so losing her, I was able to keep the machines on until all the family came. But I was with her when she took her last breath. And I think it was something for me that I didn't realize, like, the effect that it would have on you. You could like,
Yeah.
I could still see the machines in my head. I could see
Hmm.
the IVs like internet. Um, I could hear the sounds of the machines. So those are something that I still like kind of carry. Like, I don't even personally like to go to hospitals myself anymore because I'm still dealing with the PTSD of my
Hmm.
mom transitioning in front of my face. Um, and so I would say before the grief club came, um, I was very, very angry. I was angry at God. I was angry at my mom. I was angry at my mom's friends. I was angry. I was just mad at everybody because I've all my life I've been fighting my mom to stop drinking. And so and I would tell her, like, I'm gonna lose you to this. Like, you're gonna kill yourself because you drink too much. And so it happened. And so I was just angry. I had a lot of community support, thankfully. So I hope that if anybody is watching this, if someone is grieving in your life or dealing with a close loss, show up for them. I had people bring me food. I had people hire cleaners for my home. I had people come and get my daughters. Just those are the things that I really needed because I was not in the right mind. I was
Mhm.
angry. I didn't clean up. My house was nasty. My closet was nasty. I mean, I didn't want to do anything because I was so
Yeah,
mad. Like,
yeah.
wow, like the woman that I've been dreaming to have this relationship with is gone, and I
Mhm.
don't have her anymore. And all I have
Yeah,
is the pain from our past relationship to hold on to. So, it was a lot of undoing in that process,
yeah,
truthfully. But I would say before I had the grief club, I was angry and I seen how my anger started to manifest. And I didn't want to go down a scary like road for myself.
sure.
So I started the grief club and thankfully it saved me, I would say. The grief club saved me. I know somebody walked up to me. I was at a run club and he was like, I just want to tell you the grief club really saved my life. And I looked at him and I cried and I was like, are you kidding me? He was like, no, I really have to tell you, like I was going through some really dark stuff and just
Mhm.
coming into that space. And I was like,
Yeah.
thank you. So it saved my life too, I'll just
Oh,
say.
oh, I love hearing things like that.
Yeah.
And it is so easy to get stuck in
Hmm.
your own head, your own grief. And reaching out to other people is so huge. And I am so happy. I had to write this down while you were talking. So happy you mentioned all the ways that people helped care for you while you were grieving. Because I get people and I talk about this on the show a lot. I get people that ask me all the time, like, what do I do? Like, because we all put our foot in our mouth and say stupid things to people who have experienced a loss, like, oh, it was all in God's plan. And we don't want to do that. So we want to help, but nobody knows how to help. And you do that, let me know if you need anything, but that's putting it on the grieving person. And you spelled out like the perfect ways I always encourage people. Take their kids out if they have kids. Take them out for ice cream so they can be alone for a little while. Bring
Hmm.
some, don't just, I mean, food's great, but they'll get a lot of food. Come over and clean their house, mow their lawn, do like things like that.
Do
So,
our laundry. Yeah. Like I
oh my
had
God.
somebody
I
pick
mean,
up
I'm not even grieving
my
right now, but if
laundry.
somebody wants to come over and mow my lawn for me, that'd be amazing.
That part. Yeah.
Um, I also was remembering, I had somebody on the show not too long ago. Her name is Vanessa Abraham, and she is advocating a lot for post-intensive care syndrome. So that it's called PICS. And there's PTSD when it comes to people who they themselves were in intensive care or a loved one was in intensive care. And you kind of mentioned that too, about you can't even go to a hospital anymore just because of the trauma you suffered with watching your mom die in the
Yeah.
intensive care unit. So that's absolutely, there's something to be said for that. My
Yeah.
my brother spent a lot of time in and out of hospitals in his last year or so of life. And I'm the same. I had to go visit somebody yesterday in the emergency room, and I still get that little tingle every time I walk into a
Yeah.
hospital of, oh my God,
Yeah.
I've been
It's
here.
very strange. I think I want to say Atlas, my co-founder, he deals with the same sentiments as me. Like, I think he may have been back to a doctor. I'm not for sure, but me, I'm like, it just scares me. It's like a
Yeah.
little fear there, where it's like because I also saw how they treated her, and so me and my co-founder, we have those discussions of like, man, the healthcare system is screwed sometimes because you have people who really don't have no empathy to what someone is going
Yeah.
through. And like a couple of times I had to tell people, the nurses, what if this was your mom?
Yeah.
Like, how would you treat her? Or how would you want someone
Yeah.
to treat her? Like, I would have to come in and say, like, but they knew after probably the third day, like, I'm not the one that you want to keep having these problems with because I'm an advocator. And I speak up and
Right.
you might be uncomfortable, but I'm not going to be because this right is right and wrong is wrong. So
Yeah.
after a while,
Yeah.
they got hurt together, but it was just some things where it was just like, this is not humane. Like
Mm. No,
this,
and you mentioned something earlier about that too. Well, you mentioned in Black culture the be strong mentality of like, oh, I don't need to ask for help. I can, I can be strong through this. But and I have seen that myself, but the like the disconnect in healthcare, the words I'm trying to get out of my mouth, in culture and in race. It's blatantly obvious. And nobody wants to, people talk about it, but nobody ever wants to actually do anything about it.
Hmm.
And it absolutely breaks my heart that
Yeah.
somebody will just look at somebody and make a judgment call on their treatment. That should, first code of ethics with a doctor is do no harm, right?
Literally.
I hate this. I hate this for our country. I hate this for the world. It breaks
Mhm.
my heart every
Yeah.
stinking day, whether you're, and women get the shaft a lot too, which is,
Yeah.
and addicts. So I feel like your mom just kind of got every bad end of that, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Unfortunately. Right.
so now I want to talk about Grief Club a little bit because
Okay.
I've been stalking you guys on Instagram a little bit here and there and seeing what you do, and I love the offerings you have. So tell us about what the Grief Club is located in Columbus, Ohio, for those of you listening, where we are. But I want you to tell my listeners about Grief Club. What do you like? What all do you offer? What do you do?
Oh, we do a lot. So the Grief Club, we are a holistic community organization where we really focus on the mind, body, spirit when it comes to grief because it is everything is impacted by grief, not just, your heart. I mean, it's everything. Grief is even held in certain body organs. And so we
Mm.
really try to take a holistic approach when it comes to debunking what grief is in this world. And so we have peer-to-peer support groups. Eventually we would love to grow to have like a clinical therapist on, on staff just so
Yeah.
we can have that outlet for people too. But what we've seen a lot of success in is having those human experiences of peer-to-peer support. And everybody is just free to have that safety to talk. And so conversations sometimes are the catalyst to healing. And so we created that. We have men's spaces, women's spaces, co-ed. We do body movement with grief support. So we've partnered, and a lot of our work is through partnerships until we, get our own grief club.
Mm-hmm.
But we partnered, and so we've been to Dayton, Ohio, and we've done work here in Columbus, Ohio. And we really want to go to like Cleveland, Ohio, and just different other cities to
Yeah.
really activate what it is that we're doing. Um, what else do we do? So we have the art therapy component, which is like that open mic. And so
Mm-hmm.
we're actually launching later this year, like more art therapy components so people can have additional
Yeah.
outlets. We have a faith outlet or programming. So people who um, believe in God and need God attached to their grief, we have that outlet. Trying to think of what else we may have. And we do experiences. So like we have that Pick Your Joy picnic coming up. We have Heal Your Inner Child Adult Field Day. So it's for adults only. And we have a lot of fun. Um, yeah, I think I'm trying to think because we have so many different programmings, but a lot of our programmings are really just human to human experiences and just peer to peer support, building the community and having those different outlets. And so we'll bring resources. So, like Nikki, if I were to bring you, you would come into a space and provide whatever resources you have available to grief because we know that grief is not monolithic. So
Right.
we have to be open to different perspectives with grief. So, um, that's pretty much what we do in our offerings. I'm trying to think
Love
if I
it.
forgot anything. I usually have my assistant Shelby, or she's my assistant and co-founder, but I'll have her next to me and I'll be like, Shelby, did I forget anything? And she'll be like, no, you got it. So I
Oh,
think I'm good. Yeah.
I love that. And I'm definitely gonna come check out your events this summer. I love a good
Mhm.
open mic too. Like what a great way to share a story. Which is another reason why I started this podcast. People want to share their stories.
Mhm.
With grief, with life, with everything. That's part of one of the things I love most about what I do as a death doula as well, is like helping people tell their story, either to just me, to their whole
Absolutely.
family, to the whatever, however it might be, is just letting them tell their story. So I love that you guys do that.
Yes, your story matters here. And like we tell everybody, one thing we say is no sorries here. Like, don't be
Mhm.
sorry for, excuse my language, but for shit, don't be sorry for anything here
Yeah.
because um, why are you sorry for feeling? Like,
Hmm.
it's a feeling, it's an embodiment, and never be sorry for something that you embody. And then we also make sure that everyone gives everyone a hug before we leave every group. One person, like you have to give one person a hug. Yeah, just because
Oh.
my thing is you don't know what people deal with their four walls at home. And
Hmm.
so spread some kindness before they go back into those four walls. And,
Yeah.
we don't know when we'll see them again. So just give somebody some love on the way.
Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah.
that's all it takes when you're stuck in that dark place to know that just one person out there
Person here.
cares,
Yeah.
really genuinely, truly cares about you. That can be the one thing to turn that person around. So thank you for that.
Yes, of
Um,
course.
so if you were to meet somebody tomorrow, and you've probably met somebody in this exact scenario, but if you were to meet somebody tomorrow who is right where you were the day after your mom died, what would you tell them?
Ooh, if I
I know
was
I'm
to
hitting you with the hard ones today.
yeah, meet someone today, right after, like
If some,
basically me the day after my mom
yeah,
passed.
or if
Okay.
you were to encounter yourself the day after your mom died, what
Ooh.
would you tell yourself?
I would tell me, I know that this is super scary. I
Mhm.
know that these are feelings that you may not have felt yet, or you may have and didn't have an outlet, but trust that everything that happens to you and for you are for your highest good. You won't be in control of life. Death will come. It's all about how you accept it and move through it with grace and patience and love to yourself. I would say a lot to myself, but be be accepting of what is and release what you can't control. And your emotions are safe. I would really say that too. Your
Yeah.
emotions are safe to be, whether they are anger, frustration, depression, happiness, joy, whatever your emotions are, let them be in your grief. Don't try to control it. Just see yourself.
Mm,
I would
I
tell
love
myself
that.
that.
Thank you. I and
Yes.
I preach that as till I'm blue in the face that your feelings I end every episode with your grief is yours, your feelings are valid, and grief doesn't always have to suck. But your feelings are valid. Like I get so many, we're so afraid of our emotions, especially the big ones. And anger. You talked a lot about being angry after your mom died. And we're also scared of the anger. Like I shouldn't be angry. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you should be. You got ripped off, man. You wanted to have
Seriously.
this bond with your mom and you didn't get it. Yeah, I'd be angry too.
Yep. You can be angry. It's fair to be angry. Like
Of
that's why we
course.
have all these emotions because
Yeah,
feelings change. They don't stay constant unless you let
yeah,
them. But you're
exactly.
supposed to honor all the emotions that you
Hmm.
have. That's the beauty of the emotional depth inside of you, you
I
know?
know. So it makes us beautiful
Yeah.
human beings.
Yes, it makes us us. It's like we're so different because we may process joy differently, but then when we come together and teach other people the processes that we have, we're sharing perspective and it's contributing to people's growth. So, yeah.
Amazing. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. All right.
Yeah.
So I have a little tradition at the end of my
Okay.
episodes where I will pull a card at random from the death deck. I don't know if you've ever seen
Yay.
this
I
before.
haven't. That's awesome.
Okay, they're like little conversation starter cards. So I just pull one at
Okay.
random and then I will let you answer it. And then fair's fair, I will answer it as well. So I'm going
Okay.
to pull one out
Okay. I love
of the
that.
middle here.
I love
Okay.
cards.
Oh, I like this one. All right. Organ donation is a real chance to save somebody's life, and I'm all in. Or on the off chance I might need them afterwards, I'm not doing it. So basically, how do you feel about organ donation?
Yeah. Um I'm like a little I don't even know what the word you would say. I wouldn't say controversial, but I like go down rabbit holes. So a part of me wants to like absolutely help someone with my organ, but then a part of me thinks like sometimes the government is corrupted. And so like what if my organ doesn't even go to the person that I want it to go to?
Mm.
So if I had control over where my organs would go, I would send them to whoever. But it becomes a little confusing for me because
Yeah.
healthcare and political, and I don't know where my organs are really ending up. So,
That,
yeah, that's my answer.
yeah, that is a valid response. I actually just listened, and I feel very much the same. I actually just listened to a podcast the other day. It's called The Secret Room, where people share like big secrets in their life. And there's
Yeah.
a lady who worked for the end of organ donation where they harvest the organs to give. And yeah, it's a for-profit organization,
Yeah, exactly.
right? And it's not like they're
Exactly.
out there selling them on the black market. They really are, but there's a
Yeah,
lot to
it's like
that.
where it's too many loopholes for me. So it's a little
Right.
conspiracy that I have, but I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know. But,
I,
you know, if you needed my kidney, I would give you a kidney.
yeah. And I'm the
Yeah.
same way. If my, if something happens to me and my organs can save five other lives, great. I love that. But if they're going to be used for something else, I don't know where they're going. And yeah, so
Yeah.
I get you. I still am an organ donor. It's on my driver's license, but man, I wish
Me
I
too.
could choose how they get used. But
Yeah, same. I am also an organ donor too. So even though that's my conspiracy theory, I still, hey, take the organ if you need it. I don't need it anymore.
right, there's also well, I'm dead, so I clearly don't need it further, I guess, whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
but I don't have any like firm religious beliefs that I have to be buried whole or anything like that. Like, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't care what happens to my body. I really don't after I'm gone because
me
I'm gone.
either.
So,
Yeah, because I'm
all
not
right.
in it anymore.
Exactly. Yes.
Right?
Cortland, this has been amazing. I have had such a great conversation with you. I'm going to give you a second here. Tell my listeners where they can find you, where they can find the Grief Club, and how they can help support you.
Absolutely. So I am Cortland again. That is my Instagram name. So it is Cortland with no U. So it's Portland, Oregon, but with a C. That is how you spell Cortland.
I love it.
Um, so I am Cortland on Instagram. You can also find me on LinkedIn, Cortland Mullins. The Grief Club, we have our Instagram and Facebook pages. We are the Grief Club. And so a lot of our work and events will be posted on Eventbrite. We are still in early phases, so the Grief Club is only 1 year old, so we're still building some things out. But by the end of the year, we will have our website done. But if you want to stay involved and in the loop, just follow us on Eventbrite, the Grief Club, Instagram, we are the Grief Club, LinkedIn and Facebook, the Grief Club as well.
Yay. And I will put
Yeah.
links to all that in the show notes so you can just go click to your heart's content.
Yes, and we
Awesome.
have events happening every month here in Columbus, Ohio, but we're really looking to go to different cities. So if you would like for us to come to your city, please reach out to us at wearethegriefclub@gmail.com.
Oh, I love it. Awesome. Portland, thank you so much for sharing your
No
story and the Grief Club
problem.
with me and my listeners.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
Good. All right. Another huge thank you and shout out to Cortland for sharing her story so beautifully with us. Thank you so much, Cortland. Please go check her out. I've got links to everything down in the description below. And if you're in the Columbus, Ohio area, please check out their events. They're wonderful, they're beautiful, they're so healing, and I'm just so grateful that this organization exists. So thank you again for taking the time to share your story and talk with us today. If you would like to reach out to her, again, information is down in the description. If you would like to reach out to me, you can find me at nikkithedeathdoula.com. You can find some great information on my website there. If you go to the tab up in the corner that says podcast, you can find information on some of the guests that have been on the show. You can find links to their materials. If they have books or other things for sale, you can find those there. You can get merch like this cool t-shirt behind me. And I've got journals and stickers and mugs, and yeah, just so go check that out at nikkithedeathdoula.com/podcast. You can also find me on Substack, and that is Nikki the Death Doula as well there. And if you are a caregiver and you just want a little extra support or place you can go where you can be around people who get it, I have a beautiful virtual space called Caregivers United. You can find information about that on my website as well. So we'd love to have you over there. Twice a month, I have live peer support groups. So twice a month, you can come and chat with other caregivers over Zoom. We can vent to each other. I have a couple ladies that come every time, and we actually have quite a lovely time. We've learned a lot from each other, and everybody's felt a little bit better after they've left. So please come check that out as well. And that is all. Thank you again so much for tuning in this week. And remember, as always, grief is yours. Feelings are valid. Grief doesn't always have to suck. Good Grief with Nikki the Death Doula is produced by Nikki Smith of Nikki the Death Doula LLC in Columbus, Ohio. Nikki the Death Doula LLC is for consulting, education, emotional support, and guidance, and is no way considered a funeral establishment or licensed mental health establishment. Scripts, editing, sound design, literally everything with this podcast is done solely by Nikki Smith of Nikki the Death Doula LLC, with the exception of the music. The music is Cheery Monday by Kevin MacLeod. Licensing information can be found at filmmusic.io.